Welcome to the Fleet Geeks podcast. We're here to help develop fleet and transport professionals. Do you want to progress and develop your skills and knowledge? We promise to bring lively conversation and debate around interesting issues and keep you bang up to date with changes in our awesome industry. The Fleet Geeks are a community of professionals, and if you enjoy the podcast, why not join the discussion for free in the Fleet Geek community over on Facebook?
We're on. Red light's rolling, Mike. How are we doing?
Good. Thank you very much, Pete. Yourself?
Oh, I'm awesome. I'll tell you what, it feels like it's been ages, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah, back on the old video as well. So we get not just sound but voice as well, but pictures as well.
Absolutely, and interrupted because it's summer holidays. My lad's just come running in to get his remote control car.
Sorry.
It's okay, mate.
What car is it though? What?
I think it was like a replica Audi R8 or something.
Oh, that'll do. Not good taste. Good taste, the lads.
He has got good taste, mate. He has got good taste.
Talking about good taste, Pete, what on earth are you wearing?
Yeah, so I've just come home from the office. Actually, Mike and I have been together today, haven't we, mate? And it's quite warm. It's like 28 degrees. So I've banged on shorts and t-shirt because I'm going to be going to the gym a bit later. But if we have a little look here, this is Hampton United Football Club, which is the logo there. But more importantly,
look at that.
Look at that, eh? Flagship partners fulfilling your potential. There we go. Yeah. So, I'm wearing a Hampton football shirt, which is the local sort of, I don't know what, I think they call us a township, Mike. A township.
Okay, township.
So we're not a village. We're not a village.
A township.
We're not a town. Good. Yeah, they call us a township, Hampton. So Hampton, where I live in Peterborough, is like a fairly new development, and they call it the Hamptons. This makes it sound quite posh, doesn't it? Is there the Hamptons in America that's quite posh or something?
Hampton.
Yeah, so we live in Hampton Centre, and there's Hampton Hargate, and you've got Hampton Vale, Hampton Water, Hampton Lakes, and we're in Hampton Centre, which sounds a little bit like...
And hence the name of the football team, which is...
Hampton United Football Club.
Yeah, and they call themselves the...
Swans? The Swans. They call them the Swans, yeah. They call them the Swans. A bit like Swansea, I suppose. So,
excellent. Talking about football season is back, isn't it? How did yours... Oh, no, we'll carry on. We'll move on, shall we?
Oh, he got that in there, didn't he? He got that in. Yeah, to be fair, mate, United were absolutely rubbish yesterday. So as we speak, United opened against Brighton last week. Man United, I'm a big lover of. And, we were absolutely god-awful. I thought pre-season promised new things for United, but it turned out it was just the same old crap, sadly. So, how did Pompey get on? Well,
we've had 2 draws. We've been going for 2 weeks now, and 3-3, which was promising against Sheffield Wednesday away, and then 0-0 against Lincoln. So 0-0. What am I, American or something? 0-0.
Yeah. No top volleys in that game.
Up on me.
No top volley in that game. I love it. Top volley.
We were very good on the offensive,
yeah. So I've just booked tickets actually for Posh against Lincoln City in a couple of weeks. So Posh won 3-0 this weekend against Morecambe, and I did have a look out to see when Pompey was in town. Yes. So I don't know if you know, but Pompey are in town at Peterborough in January.
Yes, it's always a good away game. We always bring a big following with us, do we, at Pompey? So very loud as well. So
will you go and watch that one?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We'll have to go.
Because there's quite a few. There's quite a few actually. League One, sort of locally around here. You got Cambridge, Lincoln, Posh. They're all sort of in quite close proximity. So you should get. How often do you normally get to Pompey?
Well, obviously in the last couple of years it's been a bit weird, but I normally get to more away games than home games. So probably I'll try to get around about half a dozen in a year if I can in a season.
That's good. So hopefully the locality will be able to get a few. You'll be able to get up to the Abbey Stadium at Cambridge, and I've never been to Lincoln City Stadium. I don't know what that's like, to be fair.
Giving me age away here, but back in the 80s it was pretty rough. It was
really?
The days of the football casuals and it was pretty took your life into your own hands going to Lincoln City.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Peterborough, like back in the day when I was in Cambridge, apparently Peterborough was, rough sort of.
Well, I think everything's got its history, isn't it?
There we go. Anyway, we've spent 4 minutes chantering about football and stuff, and listeners will be like, "Where's the trucks? Talk to us about the trucks."
Yeah, I mean, it's you have to scratch under the surface in our industry, in our truck industry. If you do scratch under the surface, there are a lot of football fans out there. There are a lot of football.
There are, to be fair. There's a lot of rugby fans and a lot of football fans, isn't there? Yeah. No, definitely. So this week there's been a bit of news, isn't there, about Grant Shapps is suggesting. I think it's just a suggestion at this stage about scrapping the C1 license. So.
Hi, it's Pete from Flagship Partners. We're really proud to sponsor the Fleet Geeks podcast. Flagship Partners offer a range of consultancy and training services to ensure that our customers remain compliant and have the best possible knowledge to be able to fulfill their work. If you're interested in support with any of our safety, HR or compliance services, or you want to train to be a transport manager or need driver CPC training, give us a call today.
Just for the benefit of listeners, Mike, if they're a little bit uncertain, can you tell us a bit about the history of the C1 license? Because it was something that was previously automatic, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you can. Yeah, I mean, it was if you were on a car license, an ordinary car license, before 1997, you were entitled to drive a 7.5 ton up to 7.5 tons,
which is what the C1 category is.
Yeah, up to 7.5. Yeah, so. A lot of people refer to it in our industry as grandfather rights, which is a little bit old now, isn't it? So acquired rights is the correct title. So since 97, if you want to drive a 7.5 ton, you have to pass a test. It's the same test essentially as it's a vocational license. So you'd have to get a Group 2 medical provisional, go and pass a test and all the rest of it. So to drive, but those drivers, if you think about it, those drivers have now. If you passed your test in January 97, somebody told me the other day you'd need to be 42, I think. If you passed your car test at 17, you'd be now in your 40s. So I think this is one of those. I don't know where I am on it. I don't know about you, Pete, but So doing away with the C1 will basically give people with a car license. It will give them back the right to drive up to a 7.5 tonner. Without passing another test. And I really don't know where I am on this one. I don't know about yourself.
Yeah, so it's a bit of an interesting one, isn't it? Because I suppose since 97, you've then had the introduction of the driver CPC. So if they were to then drive a 7.5 tonner, they'd need to get their CPC, wouldn't they? Yeah. So there would be an element of training required to get their initial CPC. So yeah, I don't know, to be honest. Like it's a bit of a strange one, really, because obviously it was deemed to be okay previously. So before 97, you automatically got C1. Did you also get like a caravan as well? So like pulling a trailer?
So yeah, you had a C1 plus E, but you had a 107 restriction code, which basically, with a C1 plus E, with a 107 restriction code, you could basically tow anything. But of course, the government's now done that again with the removal last year, the latter part of last year. They removed the requirement for a car license holder basically to take a trailer test. So, that kind of negates that, really. So I suppose in many ways, this is the next natural step for the government to take.
So I think with the 7.5 tonner, I think they are big vans, aren't they?
They're big old ones.
At risk of like getting shot down by people, but a 7.5 tonner is a big van, isn't it? It is a big van.
But you're talking air brakes, but potentially not. I know not all 7.5 tonners have got air brakes. Some have got fluid brakes, but air brakes. You're talking forward control, so you sit in a position which is you're not really used to, even in a big van. You could either call them big vans or little lorries, depending on which way you look at it.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I think, why not? Part of me, I guess, says why not? But I'm all for road safety. So it's a bit of an odd one, really, because there is such a big gap, isn't there? So if you were to argue scientifically about it, 7.5 ton is a lot closer to the weight of a car or a van than what it is to a 32 ton tipper.
Absolutely, yeah.
there's so it's a lot closer that end, isn't it? If you sort of think about it from that point of view. But I do think the CPC. I think maybe there could be we could simplify the transition. So rather than just going, let's sort of do away with the C1. Well, when I say it, are we saying that correctly? Should we bin the driving license category C1? We're kind of reintroducing it, right?
Yeah, kind of reintroducing it, but make it make it an acquired right. So you acquire it when you pass your ordinary car test. So it's essentially it means that you haven't got to pass the test
because at the moment, if you were a new pass, you couldn't get a C1, could you?
No.
So you'd have to do your category C license. So I think it'd be good to introduce a short course, maybe like a driver assessment introduction type thing, along with the initial CPC and C1. Away you go after 2 years driving experience of cars or vans. And here's the introduction.
I mean, at the moment, as I say, it is only a suggestion. I thought they were all on holiday, the MPs. In fact, I didn't even realise that Grant Shapps was still the Transport Secretary. I thought I don't know. We don't know where we are with the government at the moment, do we? So, but it was just a suggestion that's come out of his department, and there's no one's saying it's going to actually happen. I think they're going to go to consultation. Interesting to see what the trade associations have to say about it, because I think they're like me. I think they're just going to be sort of, there's arguments for and there's arguments against it.
There definitely is. It definitely is. It's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, I asked on our Fleet Geeks Facebook page, which if you're not already on it, folks, get have a look at that on our group. I posed the question at the weekend, and I'm not boasting here, but there's a lot of people who come onto our group who we trust their judgment and we trust their opinion, and we welcome everybody's opinion, of course, and we trust everybody's opinion. But these particular people are well known in the industry, and I think reading between the lines, they were quite divided on it as well. Some might think that it's going to devalue, in terms of from a driver's perspective, it might devalue, push wages down. I don't know, but the other side of the coin is it could be an introduction into the industry for some people, an exciting opportunity to start at the bottom rung, so to speak, and work their way up, so and gain valuable experience. So
I agree. I think it's a good opportunity to introduce people in on less of a commitment financially from a training point of view. I think it gives people a good, when I sort of think about it logically, it gives people access into the world of working as a sort of professional driver. I think when you listen to the statistics that come from the highways England, as they now like to be known, I think I've got to make sure I get that right. They say that the greatest risk of fatality or at work injury is in a van. So when we look at the sort of statistics, then I think why not go for it with the C1? I think that's not a bad chat, mate. So should we open it up to the floor, really? I think, I'll be interested to see who's listening and what people think, and whether they think that it's a good idea or not. What do you guys think to opening up C1? I think there's been a lot of discussion online about it, hasn't there? So,
it certainly has. Yeah. Drivers tend to, don't tar everybody with the same brush, but drivers tend to be a bit anti it because they feel that they might devalue the whole thing. Operators, I think what must be remembered though, Pete, is operator. If you're an operator, you're going to have if it's going to be a 7.5 ton, it's going to be on your operator's license. So therefore, you've got some responsibilities on your operator's license to make sure that people are properly trained and versed and all the rest of it. But of course, you've got the Health and Safety at Work Act, you've got Pura. If you're providing workplace equipment, which in this case is a vehicle, then you've got to give people adequate training, instruction, and supervision. So it's not just going to be chucking a load of keys at drivers and saying crack on. There's going to have to be a framework around it, and thankfully those 7.5 tonners possibly be safer than vans because they will be managed under an operator license regime. So arguably,
and inspected regularly, regularly as part of that. So I think you're absolutely right, and I think the onus has definitely got to be on the operator to ensure that they're only allowing people competent to be able to use the vehicles.
Absolutely.
It's important that they make sure they're competent. So, I think it's a really interesting debate. So let's,
on the group, folks, and let us know what you think, or in the comments to this. I just say it caught me a bit by surprise, and I'm kind of like, go either way on that one.
Perfect. Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you on the next one.
Catch you on the next one, everybody.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please share with your friends and colleagues too. Join us for free on Facebook with the Fleet Geeks community for transport and fleet managers. Fleet Geeks offers ongoing professional development, networking and mentoring too. So get in touch with me, Pete Rushmer, on any social media platform to find out more.